So Zero Skull says Brian Greene is a charlatan. Thank you, Zero Skull. I appreciate that.
It's the ZERØ Show episode, the baseball episode, made with milk from contented cows. Find out what happens if you never make faces. Discover the shocking truth about Abner Doubleday. Learn why to hate e-scooters. Watch a vintage handheld baseball video game. See baseball as it was originally meant to be played. And more. I might always be wrong.
Hey, welcome to this show. This is actually probably the most underground show in the world right now. My last episode got 8 views. 8 views, yeah. And I'm not upset about it because I'm just the most underground show in the world, and that's actually kind of awesome. Which one is this? This is the baseball episode. You can see I'm behind these giant stacks of science fiction, fantasy, and miscellaneous fiction books because I haven't actually gotten to my destination. I did move out of the old place, and now I'm, I guess, in the storeroom of a bookstore, I'll say. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, this is the baseball episode. Did you know that Abner Doubleday didn't invent baseball at all? Apparently, a guy named Abner Graves was interviewed by the Baseball Commission in 1907, and he gave a very convincing story that suggested that Abner Doubleday, who used to live in Cooperstown, New York, had actually invented baseball. But Abner Graves was a person of low moral character. He apparently murdered his wife and spent his last days living in a mental hospital for the criminally insane. So his story might not be worth listening to, and he's the primary source that says that Abner Doubleday, in fact, invented baseball in Cooperstown in 1839. But apparently, Abner Doubleday's family moved away from Cooperstown in 1937, so it's unlikely that he would have been in Cooperstown in 1939 to invent baseball there. But that's where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. It was opened there in 1937. Cartwright, damn it, I can't think of his first name at this time. I was just doing all this stuff about Abner and Abner. I got Abner Graves and Abner Doubleday in my head, and I know Cartwright, and I can't think of Cartwright's first name. Did not invent baseball, but he did codify baseball, wrote down the rules, got organized league going in 1845, and there were lots of witnesses, and they signed affidavits and papers, and like all kinds of organizational notations, plus the Knickerbocker Rules of Baseball of 1845, which indicate that Cartwright was probably much more likely an inventor of baseball than Abner Doubleday. Don't ask. Abner Doubleday's contribution to baseball is actually much simpler. It seems that he's responsible for getting the Civil War troops excited about baseball, which is what led to the buildup of the league. After the war between the states ended, you had all these troops wandering around and they had nothing to do. So hey, give them baseball, and you'll have teams, they can stay connected, and they can battle each other every few days or every week or whatever. Whew. So, yeah, Abner Doubleday didn't invent baseball. Abner Doubleday did request bats and balls to be handed out to his troops so they could play baseball to maintain troop morale, but that seems to be his entire contribution to baseball. Other than that, Abner Doubleday really seems to have nothing at all to do with baseball. Alright, so anyway, this is the baseball episode. We're going to watch some Cartwright baseball. We're going to play our own game of baseball on a Tiger Handheld, and probably something else having to do with baseball. Oh yeah, we're going to look at the baseball cards. Alright, now, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll enjoy it. Stick around and have fun.
I've got my Tiger electronic handheld baseball game, copyright 1988 it says. I don't know how accurate that is, because they would release games over and over again, so this could be a version from a much earlier Tiger game, like from 1985 or something. But then they put out these cases and they re-released all their existing games, and then they started producing new titles. This is a very simple baseball game. You are only the team at bat. The opposing team has 6 guys in the field and 1 catcher. You are only at bat and running bases. Let's take a look at level 1, which is easy. The ball always comes right over the plate, and I'm pretty sure there aren't any fastballs. I hate these things. I hate these scooters. I hate everything about them. And here is just a crapload of them. Just a crapload of them set up in the middle of a damn sidewalk. Look, it's on the wheelchair entry. Isn't that cute? Look, it's on the wheelchair entry. Who the hell owns these things? Who is responsible for them? Nobody knows and nobody cares. If I get injured on one, then I am responsible, and the company that owns it isn't responsible. If I crash one, the company isn't responsible, and I can be sued for damaging it. This is just fucking stupid. So look at that. Someone actually parked one of these stupid scooters correctly in the street, not in the middle of the sidewalk, not in the handicap access way. It's just there in the street. See what we got in the old baseball cards, eh? We got a 1923 Walter Hulk, Union Man Hulk. We got Anthrax, and we got Black Sabbath, and this is obviously the wrong stack. Check that out. We got Alice Cooper and David B. Roth. John Bon Jovi. This is really obviously the wrong stack. You got your Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx. Woohoo! Hey, David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. And Stevie Ray Vaughan, man. Iggy Pop. Grateful Dead, Europe 1992. You got your Bob Weir from Grateful Dead. Ace Frehley. At this time he was a free agent and had left Kiss. AC/DC for some reason. We got Angus Young holding a couple bombs. Got your Brian Johnson, Back in Black, Malcolm Young, and Chris Slade. Okay, here we go. We got our, Who's on First? They mentioned that these new baseball players got funny names. Check out your Rip Radcliffe and your Stuffy McInnes. Stuffy Makins. Haha. You got your Red Roof Inn. Mulehaus. Heine Grow. Candy Bar. What is this? Are these even real names? Jack Barry. And Carl Hubble. I'm pretty sure I do have the entire Murderers Row 1927 Yankees. I hope they're in this stack. Got your Rube Foster. And Cy Perkins. Connie Mack. Inducted into the Hall of Fame 1937, which is the year that the Hall of Fame was opened in Cooperstown, New York. And it was opened in Cooperstown, New York. Why? Because Abner Doubleday apparently invented baseball there 2 years after his family moved away from there. Amazing. Thank you. Abner Graves. Murdered his wife. Spent the
entire remainder of his life in a asylum for the criminally insane. Absolutely trusted by the baseball commission about Abner Doubleday's invention of baseball. And so the Baseball Hall of Fame is in Cooperstown because an insane guy told them that Abner Doubleday had invented baseball there. You got your Art Jorgens and Jack Scott, Dr. Dare on the cover of Penthouse Comics. The reason that I have this is because it's a homage to the cover of Doc Savage. You can go ahead and compare that image to the standard Doc Savage image. And then, of course, you've got your Spider-Man and Mr. No Legs. Okay. Let's try a medium difficulty, level 2. This one you get speedballs and you get a few curveballs. Ooh. Out at first. Jeez. That was a ball. Why'd I swing at that thing? There we go. And out at first. Second inning. Whoa, what the hell? Home run. Home run. Home run. Ooh.
Well, fellas, although millions of Americans know about Who's on First, I guess there must be a few people watching. I better get on it. A few of them probably haven't heard it in its entirety, so here are Bud Abbott and Costello and their comedy classic, Who's on First?
Now, I understand, Bud. I understand now that we're in Cooperstown Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame. I understand you're going to be the manager of a new ball team. Yep. And for a long time, I've been trying to get the guys' names on the team, so when I meet them on the street or ballpark, I'll be able to say hello to them. Sure. So will you tell me the guys' names? Sure, but you know that your ball players nowadays very peculiar names. Huh? Nicknames. Nicknames. Like Dizzy Dean and Daffy Dean. Yeah, well, I like to know the names. Let's see, on the bags we have who's on first, what's on second. I don't know who's on third. Oh, come on, this is the same stuff you're always giving me. Now, tell me the guys' names on the team. Wait a minute, I'm telling you the names. Go ahead. Who is on first, what's on second. I don't know who's on third. Are you the manager of the team? Yeah. You know the guy's name? I just told you. Who's on first? Yeah. I mean the guy's name. Who? The guy on first. Who? The guy on first. Who? Who's playing first? Well, go ahead and tell me. Who? The guy playing first. Who makes that? Wait a minute. Now, what guy's name playing first? Oh, what is on second? I'm not asking you who's on second. Who's on first? That's what I want to find out. Now, who's playing first? That's right. Right. That's right. Now, what's the guy's name playing? No, now, wait a minute. What's on second? I'm not asking you who's on second. Who's on first? I don't know. He's on first. We're not on first. How did I get on third base? You mentioned his name. If I mention the third base's name, who did I say playing third? No, who's playing first? Never mind first. Now, what's the guy's name on third base? Well, he's on second. I'm not asking you who's on second. Who's on first? I don't know. He's on first. There I go. Look, you want to talk about guy? Who is? Yeah. Who are you talking about? Absolutely. When the guy signed the receipt of the move. I was down to his house for dinner tonight. You were down at whose house? Yeah. Whose house was you down at? Yes. What guy are you talking about? No, I don't talk to him. You don't talk to who? He's my best friend. Who is? Yeah. So what guy are you talking about? You're not talking about who? I'm talking about who? What's on first? No, what's on second? I don't know. Third? Now, when the guy signs the receipt, how does his name look? Who? The guy that signs the receipt. Who? When he signs his name, how does it look? Who? To you. Who? To you. Who? How does his name look? What name does he put down? Oh, that would be forgery. What's forgery? Who put down what? So who puts down what? Oh, who puts down who? I don't know. Third base. Look, you got a house field? You got a house field? The left fielder's name. Why? I don't know. What's the guy's name playing left field? No, what's playing second? Stay out of the infield. Now, who's playing left field? Who's playing? I'm not asking you who's on first. Who's on first? I don't know. Third? The left field's name? Why? Because. Oh, he's center field. Look, you got a picture on the team? Would this be a fine team without the pitcher's name? Tomorrow. You want to tell me the name? I'm telling you. All right, tell me who's pitching. Who is not pitching? Who is on first? I don't know. Third base. You got a pitcher? The catcher's name. Today. And tomorrow's pitcher. You got it. All we got is a couple of days on the team. Well, there are a couple of brothers. Who's brothers? No, they're no relation to who? Who's no relation to who? No. Where did this come from? I mean, but who's no relation to who? No, they're no relation. Okay, all right. Okay, now you know I'm a catcher too. So now I'll get you how to play through some basic catching and tomorrow's pitching on my team. Yes. And the heavy hitter gets up. Steve Alanino, an Italian player. Yes. Now he gets up. He gets up. And the guy throws the ball to Steve Alanino, butts the ball. Yes. Now when he butts the ball, means you're a good catcher. I'm going to throw the guy to first base, so I pick up the ball and throw it to home. Now that's the first thing you said right. I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's what I have to do. All right, now who I throw the ball to? Naturally. So who's got it? Naturally. Who has it? Naturally. Naturally? So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally. No, wait a minute. You throw the ball to first base. Then who's got it? Naturally. So I throw the ball to naturally. You throw it to who? Then who's got it? That's what I'm saying. You're not saying. I throw the ball to first base. And who gets it? Who gets it? Naturally. He better get it, brother. So I throw the ball to first base. Whoever gets it, drops the ball. The guy runs the second. Who picks up the ball and throws to what? What goes to I don't know. I don't know. First base tomorrow. Triple play. Another guy gets up to the long fly ball and be caught. Why? I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a darn. I said I don't give a darn. Oh, that's our shortstop.
If you have a swollen prostate, you must...
Okay, that one. Good. So we've got who on first, Watt on second, Ed Ono on third. You got Y in the left field. You got Bickus in center field. You got Tom Morrow pitching. You got Todd Day catching, and you got Ed Owen Givedarn as your shortstop. But who is right field? I've thought about this for years, and I decided that it's someone called Maybe. Yeah. So when I was a kid, my mother told me not to make faces. She didn't like faces. She told me that if I made a face, my face would stay that way. And every time I would make a face, she would slap me in the face. So eventually it got to be that this was the only face I made, and my face stayed that way. So I've been fiddling about with this hyperpyramid here, and I've managed to collapse it down to a pyramid. Yay. And then we unfold that. And we get this whole beautiful manifold. Mm-hmm. I've just been, just fiddling about with it. And I got it down to a pyramid, and I think that's neat. Ooh, sorry. And of course it does nicely collapse into a pyramid when you just fold it out like that. But that was the first time I'd gotten it down, folded it down to a pyramid of a single space. There it goes, yeah. Okay, let's
take a look at level 3, and I'll do a full game on level 3, which is the hard level. And I seem to have turned the sound off. Here you get curveballs, you get sliders, you get sinkers. You get fastballs. You get knuckleballs. Ooh. Home run? Yay, we got a home run.
Oh my.
Start. I've got 8 months left.
That's how we're doing. That's not good. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this first person was encouraged by missing the first part of the first question, but the question was, what is baseball?
Try to outscore the other team, score more aces, and do it in a way to be polite and gentlemanly. Jack wants to ask, is baseball holy? Holy? Depends on the person playing it. Some people it is a religion. Some people it's just a game. To me, it's both. One time I was listening to the BBC, and they went to the sports desk, but the sports desk wasn't ready with British sports, so the guy at the British sports desk started giving baseball scores. And then the people in the news guys were like, oh, what's baseball? Is that cricket for idiots? And then the sports guys, the ABC sports guys said, no, you don't
Calling.
understand.
Coming.
It's like ballet.
Oh!
Baseball is opera. Well, I think it's the other way around. Because baseball is very beautiful. It's
That's our
poetic,
muffins.
because how they do things is a very calculated and skilled game, whereas cricket is cricket. And, you get it anywhere you want. Right. And, and the ball's pitched overhand and a bounce. Wow, that's kind of weird. Thank you, Kurt. Okay, Al. Questions. As soon as I choose. Right on. Right, look. They're pointful for baseball, but otherwise they mean nothing to anybody. What is baseball?
Baseball. Well, I still think it's America's pastime. I think the history of baseball has followed America's history. People always, the immigrants have come in and made baseball their game, and they've been able to assimilate that way, and it's been a way for that. You see the free agency come into baseball. It starts to show you a little bit more of the business side of the game. So I think baseball is still America's pastime.
Jack Kerouac asked, is baseball holy? And I'll ask you, is baseball holy?
It has a certain religious meaning to people. I say baseball has a rhythm. And if you don't like that rhythm, then baseball's not for you. But you can sit there and watch the game, kind of relax me. You don't have to watch every pitch, but there's a rhythm to it. A pitch, a catch, a hit, then those moments of excitement where everybody gets up and cheers. So there's a ritual to it. So yeah, it is there's a certain holiness to baseball, especially for baseball fans.
And if you could compare baseball to an art form like painting or singing or dance, how would you place it?
Like finished carpentry. It's got the intricate details.
Yeah.
It's simple. Even in its simple form, it's beautiful. Put a nice coat of polish on it. It's sort of finished carpentry. History sounds like a good description for baseball.
What's your name with the muffins?
Andrew Schumann.
Andrew Schumann.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You play a position?
Pitch. All right. Well, first and second today I played. I played a pitch or two. Yeah, I played 3 different ones this weekend. So.
All right. Thank you. So far asked 2 people these questions. The first question is just, what is baseball?
What is baseball?
Yeah. Take as long or as short as you like.
Right on. In my mind, the best sport in the world.
Now these baseball
It demands
players,
blinding
they don't
speed,
get
but it's also
paid.
very leisurely and pastoral.
All right.
So,
What's your name?
They don't get their uniform supplied. They gotta buy their own stuff.
Mansfield of the Mets.
Mansfield.
These are people who absolutely love
Baseball to me, it's fast when you need to be fast, slow when you need to be slow. And you go at your own pace in a manner of speaking. That's kind of what I see.
Jack Kerouac once asked, is baseball holy? As a rhetorical question, to ask him, is baseball holy?
I can see that. I mean, people look at the rules in a very holy sort of way. Did you change the rules? It's like if you were to say, if you were to go to Washington and say murder is now legal, people would have an issue with that. If you move the mound back to 70 feet, people are going to throw a fit.
Right.
Same thing. Not really, but you get the idea.
Yeah. And then,
That's
if
fair.
you could compare baseball to
And
an
it's
art
good.
form, like dance or paint,
And fake.
what would you place it, I guess? And if you don't have
I can quote Andy
Yeah, we
Warhol,
come back.
actually, where he said, business is the best kind of art. Might be paraphrasing here, but it's baseball and business can be one and the same,
Right.
and art one and the same.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really my way of looking at it. It can be all of those things at one time.
Strike one.
I hadn't really thought about that. I recently did a thing where it's like, get woke, go broke, and like, doesn't that mean the same thing as spread hate, get paid? I'm pretty sure that if you respect the people who are into what you're selling them, they'll want to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like, if you love baseball, I love baseball, I like to come out and watch a baseball game. That's it. I don't know.
I get that. No, that makes sense.
And if you deny me the right to come watch play baseball, what the hell?
Why?
That's pointless.
Exactly.
Then you got your Wade Hoyt. Is that a real name? Will Seymour. Will Seymour. Oh, yeah, that's a real name, right? You got your Herb Pennock. Herb Pennock, 1927, Murderers Row Yankees. Urban Shocker. Is that a real name? Kid in a spacesuit. Painting by Kelly Freeze. Don Davis. Ian Buchanan. That's a Stargate SG-1 card there. World War II hero Witold Pilecki. Golly. So on April 19, 1943, the United States was going to pull out of the war in Europe. They were planning to pull out that day. On that day, a dossier reached the Allied command, and it changed the entire course of the war. This guy, Witold Pilecki, had disguised himself. He was a Polish spy. He disguised himself as a Jew, got himself thrown into Auschwitz, which was considered the worst death camp, the worst of the Nazi death camps, and is mentioned at the Capitol insurrection. There's that guy who had the Camp Auschwitz 6 million wasn't enough shirt. And this guy, Witold Pilecki, broke into Auschwitz. He had intended to put up an uprising among the prisoners. At that time, it was believed to be a labor camp, and he learned very quickly that it was indeed a death camp and not a labor camp. He did his best to organize a small uprising, which didn't go well. He escaped from Auschwitz. He stole some papers that included proof that Auschwitz was a death camp, and had some stuff about the final solution, Hitler's final solution, the liquidation plans. And so he managed to take that stuff, escape the camp. He got to the Polish underground. He delivered his papers to them. He delivered a full report to them. They got it to the French underground. French underground got it to the Allied command. April 19, 1943, the United States was about to pull out of the war in Europe to focus solely on the Pacific theater of the war, and on that day, Witold Pilecki's report got to the Allied command. April 20th is Hitler's birthday. Imagine if we had pulled out on April 19. What a birthday present that would have been. But no, we doubled down. That led directly to the landing at D-Day and the taking of Berlin. Witold Pilecki. Back to sports, we got Johnny Unitas. We got our Lou Brock. We got our cool Papa Bell. We got your Doc Graham. Gerald Perry. We got Roberto Clemente. We got Larry Doby. Fred Tolliver. And this here is Reggie Jackson, 1966 college card. That's his college uniform there. Reggie Jackson, you will probably remember most fondly as the man who was supposed to assassinate the Queen of England in The Naked Gun. And he was stopped by, oh man, I can't spoil that movie, can I? He was stopped by Frank Drebin in a hilarious way. You got your Willie Mays. Willie Mays. Tony Perez. Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig had Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS, which is the same disease that Stephen Hawking had, which is the same disease that people were doing the Ice Bucket Challenge for a couple years ago, if you remember that. Shoeless Joe Jackson. Man once took off his cleats because he had just gotten a brand new pair of cleats and they hurt his feet. They were like the wrong size or something. So he took his shoes off, and someone in the stands called him a shoeless son of a bitch. And so they started calling him Shoeless Joe, and that stuck. So he's Shoeless Joe Jackson. Well, that was the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Who would have thought that Abner Doubleday never actually invented baseball? There's no such thing as Doubleday baseball. They completely made it up, and it is maintained to this day that Doubleday baseball is a thing because there is a baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, and the only reason it's there is because Doubleday is supposed to have invented baseball there, and it's ridiculous. And the only reason that you would believe that there's a good reason, you would only believe that there's a good reason to put it there if you actually believe that Abner Doubleday invented the game in Cooperstown in 1839. But he never did. It's fiction. Totally made up. No such thing as Doubleday baseball. It's all Cartwright baseball. Yaku is Cartwright baseball. Modern American baseball is Cartwright baseball. There's no such thing as Doubleday baseball. Anyway, I guess that's the show. Hope you had a good time. Come back next time, I guess. Have fun. This is the most underground show in the world. Who knew? Have fun. Bye.
So Zero Skull says Brian Greene is a charlatan. Thank you, Zero Skull. I appreciate that.